Hey guys, it is Sunday today, and I am planning to spend most of the day in the kitchen and try to get a bunch of food prep done. I did a video the other day about meal planning and just seeing everything I had in my pantry and my freezer and making a list of meals and things that I could make with what I have. And so I'm going to start knocking out a bunch of that stuff. The first thing I have on the list is to make broth because I have a couple of soups on the meal plan, so I need to get the broth done. For that, let me show you my list, my to-do list I put together. You'll notice my extremely empty planner. Nothing is going on right now, so no reason to write anything on my calendar except for food stuff because people still have to eat. No break from that. Here are the different meals that I came up with. I just put them here in no particular order just so that I'd have them here to see and have them in my mind. And I made my to-do list. I really wish this planner didn't have errands and to buy. It's like I do not buy that many things every single week, and I don't have that many errands every single week. I wish they had just a little box or something so you could make it your own list, but I could put a sticker on there or something, but I didn't feel like doing that. So this is now my to-do list. First thing is make broth. Next is prep veggies. I have carrots and celery and onions, and I'm going to prep all of those for the two soups as well as any extra I'll just cut up for fresh eating. I do have some, I believe I have some cucumbers and some peppers as well. So I'll get those all chopped up so the kids can have those to munch on and they're ready for both of the soups. I'm going to be doing some fried polenta. And that's not on this list because it's just like a side dish or a snack type thing that I just want to use up some of the dry polenta that I have. But to do that, you have to cook the polenta first. I do that in my Instant Pot, and I'm going to cook it up with some spices and some Parmesan cheese, and then you let it cool until it's completely cold and really hard. It gets kind of hard so you can slice it into the pieces, the kind of pieces that you want. You can make polenta fries or whatever. So I'm going to try to get the polenta cooked. I probably won't get it fried today, but at least cooked and put in the fridge, so that's ready to go. And then the last thing on here is bake pumpkin bread. I found a recipe that will use up a can of pumpkin I have in the pantry as well as a can of sweetened condensed milk that has just been sitting in the pantry, so I was going to try to do that. Oh, I forgot... the meal that I wanted to make for dinner tonight after I get the broth done was the quinoa stew with biscuits. So I should put on here to make the biscuits as well. So I'm going to try to get this quinoa stew cooked, get the biscuits made a little bit later this afternoon so they're nice and warm for dinner time. But first thing we have to do is get that broth done. All right, so I'm just keeping this broth really simple. Adding some chicken carcasses, a bunch of water, salt, and some apple cider vinegar. And I'm going to be adding spices and everything, veggies and all that to the soup, so I'm not worrying about that right now. What? You want soup? Does that look so yummy? He knows that yummy things come out of the Instant Pot, so he'll reach up and say, num num. Oh, sorry, didn't mean to get your finger. And then I already got my chicken out for the soup, and it's just chicken breasts, and I want to cook them a long time so that they get all the way fall apart, shreddable, tender, and they're not just dried out. And so I'm going to cook them actually with the broth, and they're frozen right now, so I'm going to throw them in, and so they should be totally fine cooking with the broth for like an hour or so. And then I'll pull them out and be able to shred them and add them back when I cook the soup because I don't want to cook my soup for as long as it would take to cook the chicken breast to the tenderness that I want it to. So cooking that with the broth will solve my problems there. All right, so that is all ready to go. So I'm going to pressure cook. We'll go down to broth just for fun. And we'll go down to 1 hour. That should be enough to give me a flavorful broth. And it'll get it done in time so I can actually cook dinner today. There we go. All right, here is the recipe I found for the pumpkin bread using up the sweetened condensed milk. Pretty simple. I'm using regular flour for this one. I have gluten-free flour that I'm going to use for the biscuits, but for this one I'm just going to use regular flour. I will put up on the screen the website where I got this recipe from. The recipe makes 2 loaves, but I only have 1 pan, so I'm doing just half of the recipe at a time, so I don't have half of the batter sitting and waiting while the other one bakes. So I have the broth going, and it's got a few more minutes, and then it has to natural pressure release for a while before I can open it up. I have the first loaf of pumpkin bread baking. It'll be done in probably 10 or 15 minutes. Hello.
Hi.
You having fun outside?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Nay, I have a horse.
Oh, you have a horse, I see. Nice
I go
job.
down wide. Bye.
Bye. So once that first loaf is done, I will let it cool a little bit and then pop it out and cook the second one. I also went ahead and mixed up the dry ingredients for the biscuits. I want to cook those a little closer to dinner time, but I figured if I just mixed all those up, all the dry ingredients right now, it'll save an extra step then. The next thing I need to do is prep all the veggies for the soups and for fresh eating. But after lunchtime, Autumn washes the dishes, and that's what she's doing right now. So I'm taking this opportunity to enjoy the sunshine a little bit. We have had rain for about the past week, and we're having a stretch of sunshine here. So we're trying to enjoy it as much as possible.
Mom?
Hi, Charity. What's up?
I was going to ask you if I weed the garden, will I get a credit?
Sure. They earn credits for doing time on doing video games and movies. So she wanted to earn an extra credit by doing an extra chore, so she's going to go weed in the garden. Even though our garden is pretty sad, we don't have a lot. We have like berries that come back every year, but besides that, we haven't gotten anything planted in there yet. But the kids are keeping it weeded, so it'll be ready for whenever we are ready for it. There's the first loaf of pumpkin bread. It looks really nice. Came out really well. I'm doing the second one with some chocolate chips because I had a few left, so I figured I'd throw them in. That would be more exciting for the kids. So the broth and the chicken breasts are done. They've just been sitting on keep warm mode for quite a while. I'm getting to cutting up the veggies now. So I got some celery and carrots and onions for the soups, and I'll divide that up and save half of it for the wild rice soup for another day. And then the soup actually also has a bell pepper in it too, so I'll have that chopped up for the soup as well, and then the rest will just be for fresh eating, probably some carrots as well. So we got our munching veggies and the veggies for the 2 soups ready to go. I'm just going to throw this one in the fridge for another day. I have my broth and chicken here. I need to fish those chicken breasts out and get them shredded, and then strain off the broth, and then I'll be ready to start cooking the veggies and get the soup going. But first, the chocolate chip pumpkin bread is done. I'm going to cut this up. It's still a little bit warm, but it should be fine to cut a little bit and take it out to the kids who are playing camping outside, and we'll see if we can get a taste test from them. Looks beautiful on the inside. All right, are you guys ready to taste test?
Yeah.
All right, this is their campsite. What are you talking about?
I am just because I'm a police officer and I think it's wrong.
Oh, you're seeing if everything is wrong?
No, anything.
Oh, I see. All right. Yeah, as long as you keep Poe from eating it. All right, you guys ready to taste test?
Yes. Okay. I want to.
All right, go taste test.
I will get it.
Well, it's still warm too. Poe, you can get back.
I like it.
What do you think, Renee? Your glasses are falling down again.
Delicious.
Does it taste like pumpkin?
Yeah. It's delicious.
Yeah? How many thumbs up, Talia?
2.
2 thumbs up from Talia. Charity, how many thumbs up?
10.
10 thumbs up. Renee, how many thumbs up?
Infinity.
Infinity thumbs up. So infinity and 12, right? Infinity and 12. Now onto the soup. I am just sauteing these veggies up real quick. This is what the chicken looks like after cooking with the broth. It just falls apart, shreds really easily. So I'm going to saute up the veggies, then I'm going to add the quinoa. This is Tricolor Quinoa. I don't know that I've ever cooked Tricolor Quinoa, but I've seen it in the store a lot, and I had a bag of it in bulk that I didn't end up using for a recipe a while back, so I'm going to use that up. I have some red lentils that I'm going to use. Red lentils are really yummy in stews because they kind of just disintegrate, and they have an incredible flavor, and they just thicken up the soup. So it just is a way to thicken a soup while also giving it really good flavor. So this is really good along with the quinoa. So the quinoa kind of adds the texture, and then that adds the thickness. The spices that I use for this are just garlic, thyme, and oregano. And when you saute them up like this, it smells so good. Now I'm adding in the quinoa, and I'm just going to toast that a little bit before I add in the liquid. That's an optional step. You don't have to do that. I got the chicken and the broth added, and last thing is the red lentils. I have a video on a soup that's similar to this, but I'm not really measuring on this one, so it's not going to be exact. I also, usually when I make the soup, I just do like chopped up chicken thigh instead of trying to do the shredded chicken breast. So it's a little bit different, but I will link that recipe up in the cards if you want an exact recipe to follow. Also, I think that recipe I didn't put carrots in, but I had carrots, so I figured I'd add them. So I am going to cook this on high pressure for 5 minutes, and then let it natural pressure release for 5 to 10 minutes before I open it up. There we go. Here is my leftover 2 quarts of broth that once it's cooled off, I will put a lid on them and stick them in the fridge, and then they'll be ready to go for the wild rice soup with the veggies I have in the fridge. I'm getting ready to throw together the biscuits. These are my dry ingredients, my little bit of buttermilk I needed to use up, and butter. The recipe I got was from the Namaste website. They have a lot of recipes actually for their different flour blends. They're so cute, and the soup's done. So much progress. I did not expect to get my entire list done today, but I think I'm going to. Feels really good. I've been kind of in a slump recently with everything going on, just not feeling motivated, not having a lot of energy, and so to make a to-do list and actually check things off and get it done, it feels really good. So the last thing on my list up there is to cook the polenta, and I jotted down what I was planning on doing. I had said Parmesan cheese, but then I decided to do chili powder, and then it made more sense to do shredded Mexican blend that I have in the fridge. So I think we're going to do that. I figured I had about 1.5 cups here. I'll measure it just to be sure, but it's a 2-to-1 ratio with water. So whatever I end up having here, I'll do twice that much water. Pressure cook on high for 10 minutes and then 5-minute natural pressure release. I'm going to go ahead and take the liner out of the Instant Pot that has the soup in it because it's done. It's been on keep warm mode for 7 minutes now. And then I do have my second liner over here, so I'm going to get that ready with the polenta and get that thrown in and get that cooked, and we will be done. Man, it really sucked up all of that water. But I think actually the kids will like it better this way. They don't care for a lot of broth. Even my husband, he doesn't care for a lot of broth either. So we'll see how it goes. We can always add a little bit of broth because I have extra, more than I need for the other soup. So we'll just add that if we need to. So there are all my dry ingredients for the polenta, and cornmeal, corn grits, polenta can stick on the bottom of the Instant Pot and scorch sometimes. So what I'm gonna do to try to avoid that is put in boiling water. So I have my water in my kettle boiling right now, and then it'll come up to pressure faster because the water is already hot, and I'm hoping that that will help it not stick, so it won't have as long of a time where it's just sitting on the bottom, resting on the bottom, rather than being boiled and moving around. So we'll see if that makes a difference. All right, boiling water is in. I'm gonna do a cook time of 10 minutes. Start. I think these are done. They look a little browned on top and definitely browned on the bottom. They look really nice. I'm gonna put some butter over them. I think that might take them over the top. So here is dinner for tonight, and plus that'll give us a lot of leftovers too for easy lunches and stuff for the next few days. So the last thing I'm just waiting on is that polenta. I'm going to get it cooked, and then once it's cooled, put it in the fridge and let it harden. And I'm probably going to cook that tomorrow, or at least I'll try, and I will try my best to get it on the end of this video so you guys can see how I air fry that to make crispy fried polenta. Well, shoot, I did not avoid the burn. I'm going to get this stirred up, and I might just put it on saute and stir it and cook it until it's done rather than try to pressure cook it. That is a bummer. Is that a good biscuit? Yeah, it doesn't have any eggs, so you get to have it. It's so exciting. All right, it's the next day now, and my polenta has been sitting in the fridge overnight, so it should be nice and hard and ready to slice. Mom. So I'm just gonna slice it into thin sticks and try to make fries. We'll see if that works. Since it did the burn message and I had to add more water and cook it on saute, it's probably a little bit more liquidy than I would like it to be. You want it to be as firm as possible. So we'll kind of just play it by ear and see how it goes. Okay, that's what I got, and I'm going to drizzle them with avocado oil so they'll brown nicely, and try to like spread the oil around a little bit and get them coated as much as possible without completely destroying them. And then I will cook them in my air fryer. I forget how long I cooked them before, so I'm going to experiment with the first batch, and I'll let you know what the timing and the temperature works out to be. They're holding together pretty well, so that's going to be the first batch. The first batch turned out pretty well. 400 degrees for 15 minutes seems to be good. The only problem was it stuck a little bit to the bottom of the air fryer, so I sprayed it with some avocado oil this time, so hopefully we will avoid that. But it wasn't terrible. So, air fry, and I already have it 15 minutes at 400, and start. Did you girls want to try one of these polenta fries?
The cheese ones you made?
Yeah, they have cheese and a few spices, and they're made out of corn. Grab one.
A little one so I can taste that.
Of course.
A little.
Cherry, come try one.
Mm-hmm. Can we bring some outside?
You want to take them out to your campsite again?
Yes.
Well, maybe after you finish your chores. How many thumbs up do you give it, Renee?
100.
100. Talia, how many thumbs up?
I think 1.5.
1.5. They're not your favorite,
Yeah. Not my favorite, but they're still good.
but they're still pretty good. All right, Cherry, how many thumbs up?
5.
5 thumbs up. Amazing.
5.5.
5.
1,000.
5.
1.5.
Did Poe try some?
And 5. And
Poe, how many thumbs up do you give it?
Just a 10.
Did you want to try one? Give it a taste.
Food. Say food.
Oh, is it hot? Oh, we can blow on it. Can you blow on it? No. Going for another one, huh? Here, you want this one?
Fries and chicken chicks mixed
Yeah.
together.
What do you think, Levi? Is it good? Yeah?
It looks like a chicken chick.
Good.
It tastes like a fry. It's like fries.
So I bumped up the time to 17 minutes at 400 degrees to see if it would help with the sticking, like to get it more crispy so it wouldn't stick. But it's still stuck a little bit, so some of the fries are a little bit messy, but then some of them look really perfect. So whatever, I might have to play with it a little more to get it perfect, but even with spraying it, it's still stuck a little bit. I think part of the reason is because the polenta had more liquid in it than I wanted it to. Next time I'll probably use the pot and pot cooking method for the polenta, so I don't have to worry about it scorching on the bottom, and then I can make it thicker and it'll be a better consistency. But overall, it still worked out fine and everybody loves it. So that is the end of this video. Thanks for hanging out with me in the kitchen, and I will see you again real soon in another video.